It's Wolf, and everything looks to be working. I found that streaming at 720p in the couple times when I decide to stream, it usually actually works. I think maybe the issue I was having with streams before was trying to stream in 1080p because that's it's a pretty high resolution, even though not the highest anymore. But anyway, 500 subscriber stream. Yeah, I mentioned a while ago when we hit 500 subscribers I was going to try to do a 500 subscriber stream at some point, but I wasn't really sure when I was actually going to do so because it's kind of hard for me to plan out streams and stuff. Um, but here we are. So I also wasn't sure what game I was going to play, but I already was about to play some Forza Motorsport 5 before I decided to stream, so I figured might as well play that. I was kind of contemplating doing Fallout New Vegas because um, last time I did a live stream for a subscriber amount, I think it was the 200 subscriber one. I did Fallout 76, and I was thinking about doing Fallout New Vegas on PS3 because I've been playing a lot of PS3 lately, but then just didn't, and my Xbox is already set up. And I was also on the other hand thinking about doing a Forza Motorsport 5 live stream as well because what was my reasoning for that? Oh, because this game. So I bought this a while ago, and this is a older game, but holy crap, it has way more like grind to it than I was expecting. You get to a point where you can't really move forward because you need more money to buy more expensive cars to enter in other tournaments and stuff, but then like you've already played the tournaments, so then you have to go back and do bonus events, and I was getting kind of bored of it, but I figured, well, if I live streamed it, it would be a lot more fun. So that's also part of it. So yeah, Forza Motorsport 5, and I'm just gonna be racing. I don't know how long the stream is gonna be. Probably not super long, but as like I mean they never they never are when I go live. But you know, and also one other last note about just setup. My cat has been very rambunctious today, so if you guys hear just like things crashing or whatever, all of a sudden she's probably behind that. So yeah, like I said though, Forza Motorsport 5. I know it's older, but I found it for really cheap the one day, and I like racing games, so I was like, oh okay, I'll get it, and I did, and it's like I said, it's a lot of fun, but it just very, whoops, very much of a grind, and yeah, that gets kind of annoying. The main thing is there's not that many tracks. There's plenty of cars, there's plenty of like event types, but there's only like 14 or something tracks. There's not that many tracks, and the thing that sucks about that is that you end up racing on the same tracks in like every single series. So it just gets boring really quickly. Be great if I could not slide off of the track here. And also want to make sure that everything with the live stream is working, because now it's saying that like, is it showing that people are watching? I don't know. Every time I live stream through the Elgato software, it tells me that the setup is excellent at first, and then starts giving me issues after the fact. So, yeah, no, it looks like everything's working. So that's good. All right. Need to rewind further. It wasn't braking hard enough. And also, at some points, I might end up just turning the microphone off because I don't always have things to say. So, it's better to just not really hear much of anything, just hear me like breathing in the background. So, also, if you do ever decide to play Forza Motorsport 5 and you're getting really bored with it, I would suggest turning the music off. Actually, the music in this game, there's no like lyric songs. There's no songs with lyrics or anything, so it's all just sort of orchestral soundtrack. And honestly, it kind of starts digging at your brain after a while. So if you turn that off, it actually can make the game more enjoyable. And I found that out eventually too. So And there goes my cat. You guys might have even heard that. She was pretty loud that time. So yeah, if I suddenly pause the game and you guys hear me shout for my cat to not do something, that means she's probably trying to like eat a wire or something as she does. One time I was recording a video, I think it was part of my Black Ops 3 or 4 playthrough, and in the midst of oh, now she's attacking a curtain. In one of the parts of that, I think it was the zombies part, I was doing live commentary, and all of a sudden you just kind of hear me tell her to stop chewing on a power cord, because yeah, in the midst of that, she just decided to run over to a power strip and just start chewing on the wire, which is weird because she doesn't normally do that. It's like when she sees me get the microphone out and she knows I'm going to be doing something is when she decides to act up. Like when I was still in college and I was doing radio shows and stuff, you know, I'd get the microphone out to do my radio show, and every time without fail, I'd get my microphone out to start doing radio show things, and that would be exactly when my cat would act up. So, you know, it's like she sleeps all day, except for when I need something. Oh, and now the dog's barking too. I think it's funny how this game has like the real world advertisements, especially that Sargento one though, just giant cheese truck in the middle of the track. Wow, I needed to brake way earlier for that one. I've been playing a little bit of Need for Speed Shift the other day because, again, another thing that I found for really cheap. And that game is also sort of a simulation racer, but one of the weird things about it is that the the braking in it is really strong. That game is also just the physics in it are very weird. It's like, you know, I've driven cars plenty of times, and it's weird because it's like every time you play a racing game, it's like they always get, like, especially simulation racing games, it's like they always get stuff right, but then it's like you always, there's always something off too still. Like with Need for Speed Shift, it's like, yeah, cars do kind of bounce around if you're driving them, you know, at a higher speed, but they don't bounce around that much. You know, now that I think about it, it probably would have been a better idea to do this stream at a time when, like, most everybody in the US, at least in Canada, you know, those areas and time zones are not at work, which most people probably still are right now. But again, it's challenging to figure out good times to stream, especially because I just don't do it that much. Wow, I have no idea what my cat is even doing right now. She was like in the windowsill, like half off of it. So many distractions. I've got, you know, the live stream to take care of, the game to look at, and to make sure that my cat's not gonna be going insane. Oh, now she wants to exit the room. Hang on, guys. Okay, my cat has left the room, so now that is one less distraction. I swear, every time I try to do it's like she sees me. It's like she thinks I'm interacting with somebody or something, which I guess I am when I'm doing a live stream. But even when I go to record audio for videos and stuff, sometimes it's like I take the microphone out and she just like wants to be involved. And she also has this habit too of whenever I like export a video on my computer, the fans ramp up and stuff, and she'll sit on it, and I'm like, no, don't do that. And she every time she always wants to sit on it. It's like fan noise. She always wants to go investigate fan noise from things. Speaking of, man, my chair is so creaky. Speaking of games and stuff, I mentioned I almost did Fallout New Vegas for this, and how I did Fallout 76 when I did the 200 subscriber stream. I gotta turn TV volume down. I think it might be feeding back into the microphone a little bit. A really interesting Fallout game that I've been on the lookout for but haven't managed to find is Fallout Brotherhood of Steel. I remember when I was a kid, that game came out on the PS2. I'm not sure if it came out on the original Xbox or not, or any other console. I think it might have been a PS2 exclusive, oddly enough, because Fallout is mostly a PC franchise, really. But I remember when I was a kid, I saw it in like a GameStop, and I thought it looked interesting, but since I was a kid, I didn't get it or anything. And now all these years later, I've always been interested in it because it seems like such a weird Fallout game. It would be really fun to not only play, but to maybe make some videos on. But I just haven't encountered it anywhere. I've seen it online plenty of times. You can find it very easily on like eBay or whatever. But when I buy older games and used games and stuff, I try to just buy them in person, because then you can actually see them and everything, and see if there's a giant crack in them or something like that. But haven't managed to find that one anywhere. And I've even found some really weird stuff lately. I saw Ride to Hell Retribution the other day somewhere for well, probably more than it was worth, honestly. But I almost bought it, but I don't really have a use for it, honestly. Forza Horizon 5 is coming out soon, so that'll be kind of cool. It's weird though, because they haven't released a new Motorsport game between the last Horizon game and the new one, which is a little weird, because I thought that they were trying to do like alternating, but honestly, I think the Horizon series has kind of taken over popularity from the Motorsport series in a lot of ways, and it makes sense because it's way more accessible, and also more bright and colorful and loud, and I think it attracts a lot more people. And also there's not really a lot of games like it. There's other simulation racing games. It's the Forza Horizon series is interesting because it has such a nice mix of realism and simulation racing and stuff, and then also like the open world and everything. And I mean, the Forza Motorsport games, like what I'm playing now, they still have great physics and everything, but as I mentioned earlier, they get kind of boring because you're just driving around the same tracks and stuff, whereas in Horizon you have open world to explore and everything. But Horizon 5 does look interesting. I'm broke, so I'm not going to be able to get it anytime soon, but in the future, I think it'd be fun to play. Come to think of it, I'm trying to think of the last time I spent like 60 whole dollars on a game, or 70 now, I guess, for some of them. Because I mean, I buy a lot of games, but I do tend to buy them either discounted, or when they're discounted, or when they're on sale, or used and stuff, especially since I really like the 7th generation of consoles, so those ones are all usually pretty cheap and stuff now still. But you know, where was I even going with that? Oh, you know, I'm trying to think, when did I buy like a brand new game? I mean, I bought Alan Wake Remastered. That was probably the most expensive game I've bought recently. That one's only $30 actually. If you haven't played Alan Wake before, or even if you have and you really enjoyed it, you should really check that out. I bought that on PS5, and that is a lot of fun. And it's really cool to see everything upscaled. I don't understand, like, the graphics look better, but they made Alan and Alice and some of the other characters, like, uglier, though, which is a really weird thing to say. I've seen a lot of news outlets being like, oh, you know, they look so much better. But I'm like, but they just, like, yeah, graphically, you know, they look more detailed and everything, but I'm like, the character models themselves look kind of ugly. But, anyway, so I bought that. I bought Catherine Full Body from, well, Wario64 had tweeted out about Catherine Full Body being on sale at GameStop one time, and that was like, I think that was a mistake, because they were selling it for like 10 or 20 bucks, and it's like a 40 something dollar game, I think, even used or whatever. I think that one's gonna be maybe worth some money someday. But I bought that on Switch. I've bought some PS3 games and stuff, but I usually try to not spend over $10 on PS3 games and stuff when I buy those. So I don't know. What was looking at my stack of games that's near me. I really don't know when I spent $60 on a game last. Maybe I should make a video someday about that. Oh, wait, you know what? I think I do know. I bought Wreckfest a couple months ago, and I don't think I spent 60 on that, but that one was more expensive. That one was like 40 or 50 bucks. I think the last time I spent $60 on a game might have been Black Ops Cold War. I remember buying that one full priced, because that was right after I got my PS5, and I had to buy my PS5 in a bundle, because that's like the only way you could get them at the time, because I got it in like February or something, and I got one of the bundles that came with Spider-Man and NBA 2K21, which I still haven't really even played either of those, but you know, wanted to play the new Call of Duty, figured I owned PS5 and stuff, so I did spend full $60 or $70 on that one. I think that was the last time I bought like a full priced game. But even then, I actually got a discount, because the bundle that I bought it with came with a $20 gift card. So I only ended up spending like $50 on it instead of $70. So yeah, even still. Someday, once I manage to find a job, which, as I've mentioned in videos and stuff, still am looking for one. But once I do manage to find one, then I'll have some more money to invest in the channel and stuff like that. Or also, the website, that is not monetized right now, but once I can get that monetized, which oddly enough is like way lower requirements to monetize a website than to monetize a YouTube channel or whatever. But once that gets monetized too, I don't think that will bring in very much money, but that will be a nice way to invest some money back into all of the stuff that I do. Speaking of that, I mentioned that in the 500 subscriber video. I haven't really mentioned it much on the channel except for like on Twitter and stuff. There's a few new blog posts on there, so if you want to check that out, there's some stuff. There's been some interesting stuff relating to Club Penguin. That was the last blog post I had, but actually, speaking of Forza, I have a Forza blog post thing that I've been working on that is pretty much done, that I'll probably put on there very soon. But yeah, Club Penguin stuff is interesting. I know that there's a bunch of people who watch the channel from Club Penguin videos, so if you're one of those people, here's some interesting news for you. So there's really not been like a true successor to Club Penguin yet. There's been Box Critters, and it's similar, but it's not super similar. It's pretty different than Club Penguin in a lot of ways. But Red Keytar, one of the people who works on Club Penguin, who I mentioned in Club Penguin videos and stuff, him and Business Moose, who was another person who worked on Club Penguin, they have been starting kind of, I don't know if it's technically development or just like planning or whatever, but they both have two new games that they're working on called Club, or not Club. Well, yeah, Club Party Parrot and Mooseland. And I have no idea what Mooseland is, but I do know that Club Party Parrot is looking to be a pretty similar game to Club Penguin. So that ought to be interesting for any of you guys who watch the channel for Club Penguin stuff. I'll have to cover that more when it actually happens. There's a Discord for it, though, and you can find all that stuff over on Red Keytar's Twitter. You know, when it comes to racing games and stuff, not really sure what all is coming out soon. I know that you've got Forza Horizon 5 on the way very soon, and then you've also got Gran Turismo 7 at some point, but I'm not really sure otherwise. I'm sure, I mean, there's probably a new Need for Speed in the works somewhere. Cruisin' Blast just came out not that long ago. That one looks really interesting. If you guys have ever played any of the Cruisin' arcade cabinets, or actually I did a playthrough of Cruisin' USA on the N64. The Cruisin' series is great. It's an arcade racer, so it's one of those ones where you just kind of like go forward down a track. But Cruisin' Blast just looks absurd. I mean, I think you can ride like a dinosaur and stuff as your vehicle. And it looks like a lot of fun. It came out on Nintendo Switch, and I'd like to get it, but again, it's like $30, and I mean, it's gotten really good reviews, but I don't know if I'd want to spend $30 on it, just because you can tell that there's probably some linearity to it. I mean, they added new stuff from the version in the arcades and everything, but I don't know. You know, I'm seeing my visitor number go up and the average like view time bounce around. So if anybody's actually watching, feel free to say stuff in the chat. I am paying attention. That is partially why I keep going off of the road. So I'll respond to stuff if people have stuff to say. Plus, I think there's pretty low latency whenever I have it set up at 720p, so... Oh, and speaking of racing games, there's also the new Test Drive Solar Crown. Is it Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, or is it just Test Drive Solar Crown? I don't remember. That is coming out soon, and that also looks cool. I've never played any of the other Test Drive games, but I've heard so many good things about them. And it sounds really interesting, too, because it's like, it's a racing game, but they seem to have so many other elements also alongside just the racing stuff. Test Drive... Hang on. Did I get a text? No, I didn't. Test Drive... The original Test Drive series was just like normal racing games, I think. And I've seen a few of those and been tempted to try one out because they're pretty cheap because they're back for like the PS2 and original Xbox. Test Drive Unlimited looks really interesting because they are the ones that have the whole open world, and I think you can buy like houses for your character and stuff like that. And also some pretty interesting settings. The original Test Drive Unlimited, I think, took place in Hawaii, and then Test Drive Unlimited 2 took place in Ibiza, which is pretty cool. And then the new one takes place in Hong Kong, which that ought to be really interesting also. It'd be cool if they added some like obscure manufacturers and stuff, because Hong Kong is like... Was Hong Kong part of China? I know that there's always some debates about like what is and isn't part of China, but regardless, like they speak Mandarin in Hong Kong and stuff. Um, be interesting to see some like Chinese brands and stuff of cars because there's some brands of cars that are like China exclusive that you don't really see anywhere else, or if you do, it's like a rebadged version of it. It'd be really cool to see some of those cars, or just other obscure Asian vehicles also. If you guys ever want to play a really good game that takes place in Hong Kong, check out Sleeping Dogs. That game is great, and it takes place in Hong Kong. If I remember right, that game started out as like a, what was it? I can't even remember the name of the series, but yeah, one of those kind of Grand Theft Auto-ish games. Was it True Crime? I think it was True Crime, and it was going to be True Crime Hong Kong, but then like publishers changed or whatever. However that all happens. Whenever I set up a live stream, it really always does remind me of doing the radio stuff in college, like I mentioned earlier. And speaking of that, there was a lot of music that came out last night and otherwise recently. Aries had his new song come out. I don't even remember what it's called because uh, I just frankly I wasn't paying that much attention. But I heard a clip of it. I haven't listened to the full thing, but it sounds pretty interesting. I think he has an album on the way. And Comethazine dropped his. I think it's a full album. I don't think it's an EP. So you know, if you don't know Comethazine and you want to go check him out, prepare yourself. Put it that way. And then Fetty Wap also had an album come out last night, which man, Fetty Wap had a lot of really big songs back in like 2014 or 15 or whatever. Of course I remembered like, oh, holy crap, Fetty Wap, and I was looking up some of his music, and wow, the nostalgia that brings back. Man, that the absolute hold which Fetty Wap had on just like the music industry back in sort of the mid 2010s was insane because I mean, his songs are explicit and stuff, and they were still playing them on the radio. And I mean, like, you know, they play cleaned up versions of explicit music on the radio and stuff, but that was probably, I mean, like, I guess some of the most explicit censored music I had heard on the radio in a while was when his stuff was on the radio. You know, another thing that would be kind of nice when it comes to simulation racing games in the future, it'd be cool if more of them included fake tracks. Like, I'm just, as I'm playing this, I'm thinking to myself, like, I've driven these tracks so much lately across so many different games. I mean, like the number of times I've seen the Nürburgring in video games is through the roof. And you know, I get that it's fun to drive on the real world tracks and everything, but it would be kind of nice to add some new ones, because I mean, I bought the original Forza Motorsport forever ago on the original Xbox, and I was playing it and I was like, man, some of these tracks are like the same tracks that are still in the more modern games, and they feel the same. And I mean, you know, it's cool to see them updated graphics and all that type of stuff, but also it's like, you know, it'd be nice to have some new stuff to race around, even if it's not actually real tracks, which I think Gran Turismo does more of that. I think Gran Turismo has a number of tracks that are not real tracks, but still. So this is the 500 subscriber stream, as I mentioned, and it is very cool that the channel hit 500 subscribers, and I know that I'm also kind of late to things with all of that, because now it's already at like 509 subscribers, which is really awesome and really cool. Really, really, growing. Sorry, I'm checking Twitter real quick because I had tweeted about the stream on there also. Um, oh yeah, that's right. Grand Theft Auto, the remastered trilogy of Grand Theft Auto got, well, it wasn't announced today, but it was they revealed gameplay for it today, and you know, I have mixed feelings about it. um, I don't know. I just, it's Rockstar has really kind of ruined their credibility in a lot of ways with Grand Theft Auto 5, because I mean, like if you look at the different consoles, right? The PlayStation 2 had a number of Grand Theft Auto games. PlayStation 3 had Grand Theft Auto 4 and Grand Theft Auto 5. PlayStation 4 also had Grand Theft Auto 5, and now the PlayStation 5 is also getting Grand Theft Auto 5. And you know, I mean, the only other game that they've really released since Grand Theft Auto 5 was Red Dead Redemption 2. And I mean, like, there's so many other series that they have that they have just kind of completely abandoned. I mean, one of the probably the third most popular one that people bring up a lot is Bully. They haven't made a new Bully game in forever. They haven't made a new Manhunt game in forever. They haven't made a new Max Payne game in forever. Um, and it's cool that they're remastering the three, you know, big Grand Theft Auto games on the like PS2, the Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, because those are, you know, really important kind of history changing games in the video game world and everything. But I mean, you look at it and you're kind of like really, this is what they did? Because I guess they have modern gameplay enhancements, and they're remade in the Unreal Engine and everything. It's just they look uncanny. If you look at the gameplay trailer that they released, you know, the resolutions and everything look way higher, and everything looks better, and the draw distance is better and stuff. But all the characters and everything are like still chunky and blocky, and a lot of people have kind of made jokes that it's like they just took a bunch of mods for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and turned them on. And I mean, the truth is, it does actually kind of look that way though. Um, so I mean, it looks interesting. I mean, they're almost definitely gonna want some absurd amount of money for it, probably. I think. Actually, do I? Hang on, let me check something real quick. I can probably tell you guys exactly the price right now, because I think they announced that today. Hang on. It is cool that it's getting physical release. That will be nice. Yeah. $60 for the remastered trilogy, which I mean, okay, but like you could buy the PC versions of the game for way cheaper probably, and then just turn some mods on. Um, I don't know. I don't think I've finished Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, or San Andreas, even though I own all of them. So in the future, when the price, like, there's no way I would spend $60 on the remastered trilogy of Grand Theft Auto. Maybe once it goes down to like 20, I would maybe buy it because I already own all the games. I don't know though, just the graphics for it. I don't mind them because I kind of think it's interesting when games are low polygon but high resolution, because it makes it gives them a really unique look, but just it looks so weird, and it's like from Rockstar, there was so much more that you could expect them to do. I mean, I think some people were really kind of expecting them to full on remaster them in Grand Theft Auto 5's engine, which would have been incredible. But yeah, no. I do think though that if they have, like, if they truly do have gameplay enhancements that make the controls and stuff more modern, that will be a very helpful thing to play those games, because I don't know how many of you guys have played some of the older Grand Theft Auto games, but their control schemes could be weird. Grand Theft Auto 3, if I remember right, that one, like, when you would aim, you would press R1 or something like that, and then you would press the X button, or the cross button, I think is technically what it's called, to shoot. It was a really weird control scheme. On PC, though, I mean, I think the controls were fine. I own Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on PC, and it feels like every other PC game. But, yeah, and I mean, just the $60 price tag for it. I mean, Alan Wake Remastered just came out, and that was $30, you know? And they did, like, more to that game, I think. So, and I mean, you can find the original versions of those games on PC, which is like, if you're caring about graphics, if you play them on PC, you can download mods or even just amp up the resolution and everything. I think I got Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on PC for like $1. I was at, I don't even know exactly what you'd call it. It wasn't exactly like a thrift store. It was just kind of like a junk shop, frankly. And I remember they had just tons of different stuff, and I found Grand Theft Auto San Andreas amongst the stacks of stuff that they had, and it was literally like $1. And it was like a complete copy of the game too, and everything. I don't know if Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on PC came with a big box, but I got like the jewel case and everything that came in the jewel case with that copy. And it worked fine, works great. I actually still have it installed because when I was in college, I played a little bit of the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas multiplayer mod pretty early on in college, like my freshman year, but I haven't really messed around with it since then. Honestly, I probably should either play it again or uninstall it, because I don't have that much space on my computer. Trying to remember what. Whoa, I am way in like trap there. Trying to remember what time I started streaming, because my goal was kind of to stream for like an hour, and I think I started at like 1:10. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So 2:10 is probably when I'll end the stream, because as I mentioned before, streams are fun, but they just, like, I don't know. I rather make videos in a lot of ways, I guess. It can be fun to do live streams, especially if you have fun games to play and everything, but I definitely like doing videos more, I think. But, you know, for milestones and stuff, it's fun to do a stream. Oh, hang on. I think my cat wants to get let back in. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back, and so is my cat. She was pretty much knocking on the door. So yeah, okay, back to it. Whoa, I was breaking. But yeah, streams. Yes, they can be fun, but yeah, I think I do prefer making videos. Uh, but yeah, they can be fun to do. I'm sure that like once I get more subscribers and stuff like that, it could probably be a lot more fun to do streams, because one of the main things with streams is like interacting with the audience and stuff. And when I'm doing them in the middle of the day and stuff like this, you know, there's not a whole ton of interaction. But you know, maybe in the future, could do more of them. Actually, I've been thinking about trying to start doing a consistent stream, but we'll have to see if I can find the time to do that and stuff. I kind of am trying to wait till I get a job to figure that out, so that way I can plan that around job schedule things. So you know, but yeah. Actually, here's a really funny thing about jobs. So, Saints Row, the new Saints Row game is coming out in February, I think, and they've been really active on Twitter and probably other social media too, with like talking to fans and stuff. And so I decided to DM Saints Row, and I just said something along the lines of like, "Hey, the new Saints Row looks really cool, but I'm broke and unemployed. Are you guys hiring?" And they actually responded with the link to the jobs page at Volition, which I thought was hilarious. Unfortunately, though, I don't think I'm qualified for any of their jobs, because it's like most of the jobs are like actual video game development jobs. If they had any writing jobs or any you know, video jobs, audio jobs, anything like that, I probably would have applied. But I don't know, maybe even still I could somehow finesse my my resume to be fitting. But that was just kind of funny, I thought. Actually, I applied for a video game job somewhere not that long. Well, not I say not that long ago. It was quite a while ago. It was like right after I started, or not right after I graduated from college. I had applied for a job somewhere, and they were actually one of the fastest ones to get back to me. It's been like I mentioned in the 500 subscriber video. The job market stuff is like all over the place right now, and it just takes forever to even hear back from a bunch of places. But they got back. Who was it? I can't remember exactly who it was. They got back to me really quick, you know, with a no. But yeah, they need a writer, and I mean, I went to college for writing and everything, but I was not nearly meeting the qualifications they wanted. But I figured, hey, why not? So. Oh, speaking of stuff I've been working on, the next playthrough is recorded and edited. Um, so that'll probably start really soon. Probably it might even start on Sunday. You guys know that I do those Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays. Is I upload them all, and then that's when they get released. Yeah, it's done. It's edited, and I just need to export everything. And I think I'm maybe like a quarter of the way through exporting all those videos. So, but I can like start uploading the episodes of it now, and that'll be on the way. It's Left 4 Dead 2, because I just did Left 4 Dead, so next one is Left 4 Dead 2. Not sure what I'm gonna do after that. Thinking maybe another racing game, but also I have some other FPS games that I've been wanting to do playthroughs of, so I'm really not sure. But I also have a bajillion other things to work on, as I've mentioned a number of times before. For one, applying to jobs, and then for two, also now the website. Been trying to write stuff for that. And I also have some video ideas for some non-playthrough stuff, some actual like, you know, talking videos and stuff, but I need to actually start working on those, but I haven't really gotten the chance. I've been working on the top 10 Call of Duties video. That one is taking a while. That one's gonna probably not be done for a while. I'd like to have that done before Call of Duty Vanguard comes out, but I don't know if that'll happen. All of the audio for it is done and almost all edited, but then I still have yet to capture gameplay for it, and capturing 10 different Call of Duty gameplays is not going to be easy. So, you know. And also I have another video that's a shorter one. I just haven't found the time to start on it. Want to do a video about Toss Ball from the Outer Worlds. I was on the phone with my dad a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about sports, and he mentioned one that sounded kind of strikingly similar to tossball, like the few hints you get about what tossball is in the Outer Worlds. So I'd like to make a video about that, but haven't even started on that one yet. Well, I guess I kind of have. I have my Outer Worlds save file like prepared, but yeah. Oh, concurrent viewers. Hey, it looks like there's actually somebody here maybe. Hi. Although that might also just be me. Although I'm not sure. Oh, no, it disappeared. Oh, as soon as I said that, although none of my view count things went up or anything, so. As I mentioned, thought about doing Fallout New Vegas for this, and it'd be interesting to make a video about Fallout New Vegas on the PS3 because, well, I think a lot of people have already made videos about it because it's one of those things where, like, the PS3 version I think is often seen as the worst version of the game, but when I was younger, that was the version I played. I put so many hours into Fallout New Vegas on the PS3 because that was the only version I owned, and I don't even think I owned a computer in general, let alone a computer powerful enough to run Fallout New Vegas. And it's got some really interesting stuff in it, the PC, or not the PC version, the PS3 version of Fallout New Vegas. It's got, like, I mean, it's the same game, but it's interesting. Like, for one, I thought the graphics when I was younger, I thought the graphics when I was younger looked great. There we go, getting my words all mixed up. Because I remember I watched, and I mean I still do watch Al Chest Preach's videos sometimes, and I used to watch his videos, but I used to watch them mainly on like my iPod, so really tiny screen. And so even though, you know, his game was all souped up with mods and on PC and everything, on my tiny little screen it looked not that great. And I remembered playing it on PS3 eventually the one day, and like I thought it looked really good on PS3 back then. And also in terms of just like weird stuff about it, it's strange because Fallout New Vegas's save files can get really big, because Fallout New Vegas has interesting physics. It's got, because the thing is, you can pick up and drop items, and they're physical objects in the world that you can move around and stuff. So the game has to keep track of where everything actually is. And if you like pick up too many things and move them around, or if you like drop too many items or whatever, and you don't put them into a storage container or something, your save file can actually get like too big for the console to read effectively or something like that, which will end up slowing the game down a lot, which is just really interesting. And I remember even when I was younger, I think I actually had played it so much that one of my save files did get like really big. Like, if I remember, I had a lot of save files on the PS3 were like kilobytes. That's usually how small they were. You know, they were in the hundreds or thousands of kilobytes, but I actually had one that got big enough to start counting as megabytes, which was like a pretty big save file. And the other weird thing too was that sometimes it would be like certain areas in the game would cause it to slow down, because I remember, I think it was Camp McCarran, or maybe not Camp McCarran. It was one of the NCR camps in the game. I used to have to hate whenever a mission would send me there because my game would just lag beyond belief, and it was weird because it was only that area. So I guess maybe I had like dropped too many things there or something. But yeah, Fallout New Vegas is a very good game though. But I actually haven't played it in a long time. But I remember enjoying it a ton when I was younger, and also still like watching Al Chessbreach's videos about it. So. Actually, speaking of Fallout, didn't one of the Forza games put Fallout cars in it? Or was that a different game? I don't remember. Something that would be fun to stream sometime would be ZMR, because I know that a ton of people who subscribed to me from that ZMR video. I got a lot of subscribers from that. So that would be cool to do on a live stream sometime. And that video also got a ton of views, and I remember even sometimes, like, I haven't played ZMR in a while, like the Accesso Cinco version of it. But I remember before Mars came out, when the Accesso Cinco version of ZMR was still kind of the only version of it. One time I did get on there at like 3 in the morning or something, and I think some people playing it must have recognized me from my video because they actually invited me to a game, which was pretty cool. And they were from the Philippines, which I know that video got a bunch of people from the Philippines who watched it because ZMR was really popular over there. Actually, Club Penguin and ZMR, those are two games that seem to be pretty big things on this channel. Like, I have a good amount of viewers from both of those games. And music reviews. I haven't done any of those in a while. I still have plenty of music to review, I just haven't gotten around to it. Those get a good number of views, so I think a lot of people have come from that. And I think a lot of people subscribed from that Burnout Paradise video, but I don't really think that it was like necessarily Burnout games in general, because I've done videos about Burnout games otherwise before, and they don't really seem to do as well as that Burnout Paradise video, although the one I did about the Burnout 3 demo disc did get a couple thousand views, I think. I really need to try to get, honestly, kind of just like the whole Burnout series. That was a really fun series. I played a lot when I was a kid. And I had Burnout 3 on PS2, and Burnout, whatever the Burnout for PSP was, I had that one also. And then I always saw the other ones, but never decided to get them or ask for them for my birthday or anything, because, you know, I was a kid. But now, as an adult who, well, I'm still broke, as I've mentioned throughout the stream, but whenever I find one cheap enough, sometimes I've gotten them and contemplated getting them. I got the original Burnout not that long ago, and wow, that is a really weird game compared to the other Burnouts, because it's just so early on in, like, the series and so different in a lot of ways. There's that one. I don't really know how Burnout 2 is. I don't think I've ever really seen gameplay of it. There's Burnout 3. I think Burnout Dominator is pretty similar to Burnout 3. I really like Burnout 3. I think that's my favorite in the whole series. Burnout Paradise is a cool game, but it feels different than a Burnout game in a lot of ways. And honestly, it does feel kind of like ghostly and empty sometimes too. So, you know, but Burnout 3 was cool. I also liked how you got to visit different countries in Burnout 3. There's Burnout Dominator, and isn't there like Burnout Revenge or something like that? Or wait, was Dominator the one that was on PSP? I don't remember. There's other Burnout games that were not like numbered entries in the series that I think would be cool to play. Yeah, speaking of games like Burnout, the other day, I mentioned earlier I bought Wreckfest like a while ago, and I was playing it some more lately after having not played it in a while, and I realized that Bugbear Interactive. I was saying to myself, the Wreckfest feels a lot like Flat Out. It turns out that Bugbear developed Flat Out, which explains why Wreckfest felt like Flat Out. So that was just kind of funny, I thought. I remember when Wreckfest was still Next Car Game. Hey, I guess it's kind of appropriate that I chose Forza Motorsport 5 for 500 subscribers. Looks like right about when we finish this race actually is going to be right about an hour of streaming, which is, again, like I said, kind of what I was aiming for, so I'll go ahead and end the stream after this race. I think that this Hyundai Genesis that they have in Forza Motorsport 5 looks pretty cool. I think this was the very first car I unlocked in the game too. Unless the game unlocks it for you. I think you get to choose your first car if I remember right, and I chose this one. It's kind of an unexpected car from like Hyundai. They don't usually make too many sporty vehicles, I don't think. Anyway, though, yeah, that is about an hour, so I know that this stream was way more subdued than like the 200 subscriber one, but it was still cool to do a stream for this. Like I said, I wanted to, so I'm glad to have been able to finally get around to doing that. Especially because I haven't actually like uploaded any videos in a couple of days either. As I mentioned before in a different video, in the 500 subscriber video, at the 200 subscriber thing, I had mentioned about doing a giveaway at 500 subscribers. I would like to, but as I mentioned in that video and throughout the stream, I really got to save money right now because still don't have a job because, still looking for one. But once I do get a job and everything, I still would like to do a giveaway. So, down the line at some point that will happen, but just hasn't yet still. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you in videos and stuff. And bye bye.